In 1776, our founding fathers declared their independence from Great Britain and became their own nation with many rights that many did not have. To this day, we're still the leaders of freedom. We still maintain the right to freedom of speech and separating church and state that many do not have in this world. Heard this elementary school lecture before? Me too, and it's not actually entirely true. In fact, our founding fathers knew for certain that there have been many with rights before them. They were very well read, and they based their government on other sources. They weren't actually as oppressed as the elementary school lecture made it seem. Back in 1215, the King of England was forced to sign a document called the Magna Carta, in an attempt to limit his power. It gave separation of the king and the church, and it gave citizens the rights of Englishmen. In fact, there are three clauses still in effect: the freedom of the English church, the ancient liberties of the city of London, the right to due process. Don't you think the first and third ones sound a little familiar in our Constitution? In fact, hold on a second. Internet! These rights of an Englishman that the Magna Carta gave Englishmen were the right to a trial by a jury of one's peers under the law of the land, security in one's home from unlawful entry, and limits on the government's power to tax. Sounds pretty familiar to me. The Magna Carta was created under three philosophies. One is the rule of law. It means that everyone, including the rulers of the country, have to follow the law. It's a written statement of laws that everyone has to follow. Basic rights. This is where everyone has rights, from the peasants all the way to the king. The third is government by agreement or contract. Basically, it says that the king won't screw over the people. The Magna Carta actually kind of sort of evolved into a British constitution. That is right, we are not the only ones with a constitution, thank you very much. But two basic principles: the rule of law, I said that earlier, and representative government. Now that one sounds a little familiar. Let's see what the US Constitution is based off of. The first one is rule of law. I think I said that one a few too many times. Next, fundamental rights. Again, everyone has rights. Can I say no? Can I say no? Can I say no? The third one is representative government. Yeah, I'm saying it now. What we learned in elementary school, I thought our rights were like 250 years old. No, they're 800 years old. Our rights come from 1215 AD. That is in the prime of the Dark Ages where everything sucked. I think what fascinates me about this is that's things like our basic rights and our right to a fair trial and why everything's governed by laws and a representative government. I learned that was from 1776 and our Bill of Rights and everything. But in fact, they're actually really ancient, and that just really fascinates me. I think another thing that fascinates me is the three clauses that are still in effect from the Magna Carta, because there are three clauses still in effect in the Magna Carta, and that's 800 years old. In America, we were affected by that, but we weren't directly affected by it, because we had our own constitution and everything. People that are affected by these clauses that were made 800 years ago probably don't even realize that they were made 800 years ago. By the time that our founding fathers actually wrote the Constitution of the Bill of Rights, the Magna Carta was already 500 years old. Honestly, I think this makes America cooler than it already was, because other countries have thousands and thousands of years of history, and we only have up until 1776 until now. I think the extra 500 years of history behind our basic rights and government does make our Constitution and our government that much cooler and more interesting. I think I made my point. So next time you say something like, I have rights, just think about those rights for a second. Thank you very much. I am going to eat dinner now.